I found out boyfriend's parents hate me at 8 months pregnant. We've been dating since July 2021. We got serious July 2022. We started talking about a baby together before we left for Paris last fall. We conceived our child in December. Fast forward to today. After going through his texts to read the responses to our baby shower invitation from his co-workers, I looked at his family chat. His mother has been telling him not to let me trap him with an unborn child since January. His father and his mistress, or the woman his father left his mother for 20 years ago, have been aware of every woman he's dated unbeknownst to me for the entirety of our relationship. Back to that shortly. And apparently the mistress doesn't want to ever meet me because of what I expressed with my boyfriend early in my pregnancy. I'd need to form some foundation of a relationship with his family if I was going to be comfortable with our child bonding with anyone. So, I didn't share that I found out about his infidelity a little over a month ago, and I agreed to let him build my trust back. We've been talking to a therapist and he's been more engaged than I've ever seen. But this feels heavier than another woman. If his father is advising him to protect yourself legally and his mother thinks we're dysfunctional based on his actions that I just found out about, I especially do not feel safe with these people around my child. Or me in my most vulnerable state. Is it even possible to give him a fighting chance if his largest support system won't give their approval? I need real advice. I'm very pregnant, but at this point words can't break me. Be honest Reddit. Comment. Does he know you read his family chats, or were you snooping? If he knows you read the chats, talk to him about it and tell him how it makes you feel. If you were snooping, you may have to try to trust his actions. His family can say whatever they want to. He is the one having this baby with you. You say he's making the effort to re-engage with you and the relationship. That's promising. I suppose you could, in a few days maybe, ask him if his parents are excited to become grandparents. But don't ask any questions if you aren't prepared for every answer. He could tell you the truth. He could lie to spare your feelings. Hard to say. My husband has the code to get into my phone in case I ask him to check something, like if I'm driving, or in case of emergencies. I have his, for the same reasons. That doesn't mean we have permission to invade each other's privacy. You having the code does not give you permission to dig through his phone for any reason. Unless he explicitly told you you can look through everything, anytime you want. Looks like you were doing something you shouldn't, and you saw something you shouldn't. You can either be honest, which in light of your trust issues from his prior infidelity might not be received well, or you can pretend it never happened. As I said, you could, in a few days, ask him if his parents are excited about being grandparents. But I can't say how honestly he would respond. If you choose that option, you'd best prepare yourself in case he chooses not to tell you how they feel. Why are you trying to make it work with him? It sounds like he has been cheating on you the entire time and gets it from his dad. Next story 2. My boyfriend wants separate to figure out our life on his own. Is this fair? My boyfriend and I have had an up and down relationship together with a couple of on and off moments. Lately, about 2 years, we've had it pretty good with no problems, until recently, he brought up how he wanted to take some time to figure his place in the world. Here's his situation at the moment. He's a recent college grad with a good paying job, but his job is not related to his major at all, so every day when he goes into work, it's a huge learning curve. He's currently trying to save up, so he's staying at home with his parents. He's always been unstable with who he is as a person, his confidence level pretty low, unsure of what he wants to do with his life. With my situation, I have 1 year left of college, but currently am also living with my parents due to also wanting to save up money. My college is about 45 minutes away from where he's working and living, but my parents' home is about 15 minutes from his parents' home. We both have cars. The overall problem is that he is the type of person to figure things out on his own, the type of person who wants to struggle now and have a life of bliss in the future, and how this ties into us potentially breaking up is that right now, it will be hard for us to carry on a relationship given that I'm still in school, unsure of what I want to do, both of us living with our parents, and him struggling to navigate his way through the world. I offered up the idea that we could make it work for the next years or so while we both figure out our way through the world, with jobs, finding our own place to live, building up our own money, etc., but we'd do it together. He declined and said that this journey that he's on to finding himself is a personal thing, and by him finding himself, it will lead to a better life for us in the future when we both have nice jobs, money saved up, and we're not living with our parents. Honestly, I feel like he's giving up on us and not even willing to at least try to figure out this together when we're in it together. I feel like this is just a nice way of letting me go, but he keeps pushing and emphasizing that we'll come back in the future and that he's doing all of this work for future us. I know that I will have to move on during this figure out period of him, and that waiting for him is not smart, but I want to know if this is a valid reason to break up. If it's truly not possible for us to figure it out together? If this is a let go and trust the process situation? Has anyone experienced this sort of thing, a relationship? Comment. To be cliché, life isn't fair. He isn't ready to settle down and wants to explore himself. Not liking the color blue is a valid reason to break up. You can't make someone stay, and you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. Any reason is valid reason to break up, even if you don't think it's fair. Breakups do not require mutual consent. Yet. Just gotta be clear with him. No, if we break up, I'm not waiting for you. Building a relationship with someone means sticking around and working through life as it is. Not leaving and showing up later to see if life is somehow not life anymore. Next story 3. Friend cussed and screamed at me multiple times on a trip. Would you stay friends? I went on a week-long trip recently with a newish friend I had known for a few months prior to the trip. During the trip she screamed and cussed at me multiple times for things I didn't think would make sense for her to be so mad. By the end of the trip she was constantly snapping at me and making me feel scared she was going to get mad at me at any moment. She made me cry multiple times. I would just avoid her until I pulled myself together. She also had road rage that really freaked me out, like cussing at drivers for going too slow, or for instance at this one car that got a parking spot she wanted, we did not have the right of way. I absolutely cannot stand being yelled at. My parents had so many freakouts when I was a kid. My mom still does, and I have to avoid her until she stops. This hurts a lot. BC, I thought we were becoming best friends and she treated me like this. I've also been going through a breakup where my now ex made me constantly feel worthless. I've lost 2 people at the same time. I'm also resentful at her and my ex for treating me like this. I can't stand being around her anymore. It's like I can't trust or not be scared of her. At the same time I feel attached and want to be friends. I feel guilty. I know by not being friends with her I am also leaving the other couple people in the friend group. BC, they always hang out together. Thoughts / what would you do? I feel like if I were to ask for an apology for being treated badly she would just get mad at me. Is it even worth trying to talk to her anymore? Comment. Why do you want to be around people who make you lose your sanity? I think she is trouble and you should stay away before your safety is put at risk. But that's just me. Absolutely not. How is that even a consideration for you?